Hi guys, eruption time very, very soon. Everyone's sitting there and waiting. The Icelandic MET Office basically also said they're waiting to push the button to sound the alarm. Everyone thinks it's going to happen. It can happen at any minute. The geologist Thorwaldsen, his estimate was March 1st. So that has passed in Iceland. But he said latest would be Monday. And why is he saying that? Because the land rise underneath Svartsengi, where the Blue Lagoon and the Svartsengi power plant are located, has reached a level that it had before the last eruptions, basically. So the magma chamber has filled up enough so that it can send out magma and cause an eruption. And they're also thinking it will be an eruption and not just a magma intrusion as it has occurred on November 10th when that long magma dike has formed, that 15-kilometer long magma dike, that the red line here that went through Grindavik, underneath Grindavik and into the sea. So they think there's going to be another eruption. The most likely area that they estimate it's going to happen is where we have seen the February eruption. So in the Sutnuka crater series, they had released lava flow models for certain areas when it's a little north of Grindavik in the Hagafell area again, where we had an eruption before. Then there were lava flow models that it would flow into Grindavik, despite the protection dikes, that it would reach the western boundaries of Grindavik. But they have also stressed it could erupt right inside of Grindavik, which would lead to significant damage by lava flow and cracks and everything. So most likely area, Sutnuka crater series again, it is an area where they say it's the most favorable area along that magma dike. It's 15 kilometers long, right? So that area is okay, but it has caused a lot of damage in February when it was flowing very, very fast, and just in a few hours it was flowing over the main road, Grindavik-Vegur, damaging the hot water pipes that were feeding a lot of households on the southern Reykjanes Peninsula, not only Grindavik, but the other areas as well, so that households were without heat for about 5 days. And they have been trying everything right now to be preventive, proactive, to secure these hot water lines should there be another lava flow. But they have also stated today that, they can't rule out that there will be another hot water shortage, that this might happen again. They're still working to do other preventative measures. They're drilling for hot water near these areas that were without hot water so that they would not rely so much on that pipeline system, but that's all not ready yet. So if there's another eruption that's close to these hot water pipes, then it's definitely a problem. But there's a statement from Hjördis Gudmundsdottir. She's the information representative of the civil defense. And they have also said, well, we're sitting here in the starting boxes, waiting to sound the alarm, because they also say, well, we're just staring at it. It's ready to erupt, right? That's what they're saying. And they also said, and if you've seen my last video, I already said it there, that various people are very concerned about everyone in the area. That includes the Blue Lagoon, the Svartsengi power plant, and Grindavik. So they're worried about the people that are in this area and how they can get out should there be another eruption without much warning, because that's the problem. The warning time is probably going to be very, very short, because there's already existing tunnels and stuff where the magma can flow, and it won't rumble that much this time. Plus, the Meteorological Office has said if there's wind, storm, rain, snow, something, measuring instruments might be impacted. So they are not able to catch these slower seismic events. So before the eruption, there's not going to be like huge earthquakes. Probably not, because there's already existing dikes and tunnels where the magma can flow until it erupts there. But the smaller earthquakes, the earthquake swarm will be a swarm of smaller earthquakes, and sometimes these measuring instruments are impacted by the weather. But what Hjördis Gudmundsdottir says, and has to be clear, their concern is to get the message to the people in these areas when it happens. So because of the warning time, and multiple entities have stressed, we don't want the people in this area. But, they have opened up Grindavik fully. But you know what? Everyone has always closed their eyes in the Blue Lagoon area and said, oh, it's all good. We listen to the authorities, we listen to the entities. But as we talked in our last video, there is no mention of all of that on the Blue Lagoon website. And it's, again, Hjördis says the National Defense Service is most concerned about people in the area, both those staying in Grindavik and in Svartsengi. And this is mainly because of the large uncertainty of how much evacuation time they will have, how much time they have to evacuate the area until lava reaches them or whatever, right? We've also talked about that little note of the Icelandic Meteorological Office that they said they were going through the different evacuation scenarios, eruption scenarios, lava flow scenarios, but they also said, should the magma come up directly underneath Svartsengi and rise straight up, they were saying the warning time could be around 7 hours. So it's not impossible. And this is also what the information representative of the civil defense says in this statement. So of course they're saying they have the sirens, they have the warning sirens ready to be, released. We've seen this last time. They were released basically at the same time when the eruption started. But she says that we have them in place. It doesn't change the fact that the warning time could be very, very short. And also that it is uncertain where the magma will make its way to the surface. She says, well, right, the scientists think that the lava will come up at a certain place, but no one can really tell. And that's why I'm always saying better safe than sorry. And if we know that we're that close, just get everyone out and evacuate. Better safe than sorry, because as she said, no one can really tell. And the Icelandic Meteorological Office says maybe warning time is about half an hour, but it could be longer as well. It really depends where the magma is flowing, right? If it has to go a longer way, is it flowing more south into Grindavik? Where is it going? She then speaks about the residents of Grindavik, and they seem to be quite okay prepared. I mean, they're aware of the situation. They're not tourists. They live there. Most of them have been born in Iceland, so they know what's going on in Iceland. And that's why she says that the people that are living in the area right now, that are staying overnight in Grindavik, they know what the situation is and they're ready to evacuate, to get away from the area as soon as they hear the warning signs. But they will probably already start running when they feel the earthquake swarms, right? So the civil defense has asked the residents of Grindavik. They said to them, well, please park your cars in a way that you don't have to back out of your driveway or something. Park them in the direction so that you can just, if it's at night, for example, get into your car and leave, so that the car already points in the direction where you want to get out. And they have also asked the employers of the businesses that are running again in town, that they have their plans ready to go. But the good thing is for the businesses, if you've got your workers there, it's most likely during daytime, right? So if the eruption happens during the nighttime, most likely there's not many people in these businesses. I don't know about the fish processing plants, if they're working in shifts or something, but usually there's more people there during daytime. And she also points out that the business owners in Grindavik, that they are also aware of the situation. Of course they are, right? I mean, they've been evacuated from this since November, and then they have been had to deal with this back and forth, filing a lawsuit against the state for access to the town and stuff like this. And this is the good thing. She stated on March 1st that there are not many of them in the town right now. And because they know that it's coming, that it's imminent, right? So she's quite happy about the fact that the business owners seem to listen to the Icelandic Meteorological Office and the warnings that they give out. So that's actually a good thing, right? And I think that's the way to go. But there's other businesses that are not directly inside of Grindavik that are not listening to this, right? That are dragging it out to the last minute again. And these are businesses that are not essential, right? So like I said, this is my Blue Lagoon soap opera. I have no understanding for this, and I think in the long run, they need to find another source of income. It's kind of crazy that they're so relying on this business to be open, because it's such a major part of the country's income, right? So they need to find other ways, because who knows how long this will be going on. I mean, the scientists are predicting that this could last for decades, even centuries, right? So this is not sustainable in the long run. So all we can do right now is wait and see, and also then wait what the next eruption and the earthquake swarm that will come with it means for the town of Grindavik. Will it cause more damage? Will it cause more fissures and cracks and sinkholes that will form and open? And will it cause more damage to the homes? Because it's kind of like the Fraggles, right? They rebuild, then it gets destroyed. They rebuild and it gets destroyed. And now there's some news from the natural disaster insurance. It seems they have been constantly assessing homes in Grindavik during the last few weeks, and they're saying that the damage to residential and commercial properties where damage has reported is more less in areas that are not so close to the cracks and the falls that have formed in the town. So if there's areas where properties and structures are further away, it's not that bad. That's what they're basically saying, and they have announced this on their website. The Natural Disaster Insurance, NTI, so they have a website. But they're also saying that the inspection and that the assessment of the damage to most of the properties has been completed. So now it's a waiting game. We have to wait and see what they come up with. What is their assessment? Because overall, they're still an insurance company, right? And we all know what they're doing. And the residents have already expressed their dissatisfaction with how all that is going. So they're still working now on the cost estimation and on the evaluations of the damaged homes, right? They have assessed the damages, and now they have to come up with a payout plan with a price, right? What's the damage? How high would it be to repair? And so what are they doing with the homes that they just mentioned that are away from the fault lines that might have minor damage and can be repaired? Will they then just pay out money for repairs? Because that's basically the rules of this insurance. They don't give you the money to walk away. They want to restore communities, so you have to use the money to repair your home if your home is not declared a total loss and the land underneath as well. So this is the question. And if the government still wants to pay out these properties, then who's going to pay for the rest? So I think it'll take a while until they have this all figured out. So they think that by the end of the next week that they can send out the first estimates and the first assessment for the properties that are less damaged. So that seems to be easier, and they say that they will send that to the owners so that the owners can have a look at it. And I'm already pretty sure that it won't be so great. I don't think the owners will be happy with what's going on. They had quite a few people and companies that were assessing the damages in Grindavik. So there were almost like 30 people from 4 different engineering companies that have done these assessment for the natural disaster insurance, but they also had like 3 independent assessors working on that. So they kind of say that they were surprised that because of the large earthquakes that did occur in Grindavik in the last few months, and especially on November 10th, that they think, oh, we were surprised how little damage has occurred to the properties in the town. They're saying, okay, except those properties that are closest to the faults and the cracks, but most properties outside of those zones are relatively undamaged. So what does that mean for the town of Grindavik? Does that endanger the buyout plan? Because, you know, will you keep the town alive? Do you want people to stay in the town, or don't you? So that's the question that comes up in my head, right? When I hear what they're saying. So they're saying there's undamaged homes and some that are only a little bit damaged, right? But also there are homes that are completely write-offs. That's also along those fault lines. So the director of the natural disaster insurance, he says that they will send back additional appraisers to inspect those properties that are standing right on top of the fault lines and the cracks or very close to them, because it is possible that the damage has increased since they had done the last inspection. And if the damage has increased, then they will update their appraisals before they are sending them to the owners for presentation. So that's going to be interesting, how the residents will react to this and how this will influence the whole buyout package, because the money from the natural disaster insurance is a big part, a big piece of the money that they want to use to buy out the residents. So there is still uncertainty. Some residents still think, give me more time, I want to decide. And of course, their concern is, if the government buys out these properties, will they just let them sit to rot? Will they take care of them? Because a lot of people are worried. They said, well, even if they buy us out, we'd like to come back and like to take care of them. It is hard, right? The heart is in that place, especially for people that have lived there for a very long time. And in that residents meeting last Monday, they have expressed they want to keep the town alive, and they want to have the businesses operating in the town, and they also want to keep the infrastructure going, and are thinking about keeping up with it. So it's a difficult procedure. I don't know, maybe they will all change their minds down the road, either in this direction or in that direction. Maybe they will start to live in Grindavik again. There is a lot of households that are still in a position that they don't really have a good place to live. They're really living in like interim solutions in like holiday homes or with families in not good conditions. So they don't have anything that really can house their whole family and give them a new home. So it's still an interesting situation, guys, and I will certainly keep you updated. And what I will do, I will sit there and watch, and I will look out for earthquake swarms like I always do. And I caught the eruptions when they happened. The last 3 times I was really sitting there and watching the seismometers, and then I saw the swarms and I knew it was coming. So the last 3 times I wasn't sleeping. So maybe I'm lucky again and I will catch it this time. I will definitely notify you right away. Sign up on my On the Pulse with Silky site. on my YouTube site, so that you get the notification. Click the notification bell, and of course, please like this video. And as I said, subscribe. And thank you so much for your support, for your supers. And check out the end screen. I've released a new video about the Titan disaster. There's some interesting new audio that I have released about what they initially thought could have been the 5 people inside the Titan submersible knocking and calling for help, because these sounds were so rhythmical. So that video is in the end screen. And please follow me on buymeacoffee.com/silky. The link is in the description of this video. It's for free. I'll send you emails when the eruption is out or when there's significant news. I don't want to send out too many emails, so I'll use that carefully. I don't want to spam you with that, but certainly if there's significant events like an eruption, I'll send you an email, and I'll post some stuff there on a regular basis. So I'd like the fact that I could get in touch with you there as well. And for those of you who support me on that site, who keep buying me coffees, thank you so much, guys. You're absolutely awesome. And I hope to see you very soon, and stay safe, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.